This segment of Naperville Sports Weekly is brought to you in part by the Naperville Sun.
Well, Metea Valley football coach Ben Kleinhans, we're here a couple days away from the season opener. Your first year here at Metea Valley after several years down the road at Neuqua. What's that transition been like since you get up here at the beginning of summer and you get your time with the team?
It's been it's been great. You started off in the summer kind of coming in, not really knowing what to expect, what you're going to have on the field. So that summer was just huge for me and the coaching staff with the new players and new coaches, just to get to know each other. Every day you kind of learn something different about your team or a kid. Some days you walked away and you're feeling pretty good, this is going to be great, and other days like, oh, we got a lot of work to do. So it's kind of those days. So the summer, having that summer and those 25 days is huge going into August, especially coming into a new building, new situation, kind of getting used to your team, the coaches, and how things are run at the new school that you're at.
As a first-time head coach, how do you find your maybe your routine or maybe some of the stuff you're doing changing as well as the head of a program now? Yeah,
you got to adapt, with kind of what you got and the type of kids you got. I think you have your core principles that you believe you need to have every day and get done, and you need to work on blocking and tackling every day and certain things. But as you kind of get into it, you need a feel for your team and the way your staff is set up. You kind of make changes on the run to be most efficient. On a day-to-day basis to make your team, always talk about, being one day better when we walk off. Whereas as the head coach, you got to put a practice in place and things in place to make sure, to put your players in position to be that one day better. So you always got to kind of adapt and change.
Coming in as a head coach to this program, obviously, 2 years at the varsity level, only one with seniors. This will be year 3 for Mustang varsity. Obviously a very young program. I imagine some of the core principles, as you say, for the Mustang program as it had been, are still being shaped today. Do you find yourself fortunate that you come into a position where the program is so young and, you almost feel like you're still kind of molding what Metea Valley football is?
Yeah, there's no doubt. And that was one of the big attractive things is, looking back, and hope to be here a long time, 15 years from now, looking back, it's going to be my program that that started up. They've had a couple years and they've laid a little bit of a foundation, but being so young, you're able to come in and kind of, put your handprint on it, so to speak, of how you want things done, and it's not you got to go into a school that's been around for 75 years and has all this tradition. You just kind of want to go in and and kind of keep it rolling. Exactly. Well, here you're able to go in and make the changes you feel need to be made, and able to kind of work things the way you want it, because this is such a good young program. And then that's exciting, not getting caught up. And as I was looking at that, I got to keep my mind on the long term a little bit and not do whatever's best for short-term success, but for long-term longevity of the program to make it a successful program for years down the road.
And you talk about being with this group over the summer, how important that how important that session was. What were some of the things you have learned about this team as a group in that time, and obviously the 2 weeks you guys have had to practice here?
I think the biggest thing that stands out is these guys, these seniors, they want to be great. They want to be, the first team to have the winning season, to make it in the playoffs, to get a playoff win, to compete or win a conference championship. They're really motivated by that idea, and they're confident that, and we've talked about, the process and sticking to the plan and the process, one day at a time. And, when they have the talent and the motivation to kind of, do those things about, their legacy when they leave here, what's their legacy going to be? And they have a chance, these seniors, to do things that no one else will be able to take away from. They come back for reunions, 10, 20, 30 years down the road. They want to be the team picture. That's the first team that did this, and the first team that won the playoff game, and the first team that had the winning season. So I think that's kind of at the core of their motivation and all their hard work this summer.
And I imagine a group like that does help kind of bring on some of these younger guys, that can kind of instill a little bit of that pride, right?
It's a sense of urgency that we talk about, that the seniors need to make sure that the juniors and sophomores even that are up with us need to have. This is important. This goes by fast. Really try to get across to the seniors, and then they get across to their team, their younger teammates, that this flies by. And they're already seniors. So they need to have that sense of urgency, and we need to get this done, and this is how we got to do it. And so stay with me, follow me, and we'll show you how it needs to be done. But the the other side of that is, the seniors still need to be pushed and understand, about that sense of urgency from the coaching staff, that, You know, it's one thing to say all these goals that they want to have, but they got to believe that they can do it, and they've got to be willing to every day show up and put in, you know, the work that is necessary to go achieve all that stuff.
Now, looking at Metea Valley from last year, some offensive skill players, you know, have moved on. Jarrett House, Trayshawn Mackey, Rayshawn Parker. But you talk about the guys that have been playing varsity for a little while. I imagine Cameron Wilcox and Alex Hagemaster both got to be right up there.
Yeah, both those guys are guys from an offensive standpoint that we're counting on, especially early, you know, to kind of lead us and kind of, you know, those are the guys that, if we're going to have success, are going to be the guys getting the touches. You know, Cameron's had a great summer, and Alex have both had outstanding summers, being leaders, making plays, showing up every day, you know, coming into camp in great shape, and really, you know, they've been a step ahead of everybody else, you know, and everyone else kind of got to catch up to them on offense a little bit. And the same thing on defense. You know, we got, you know, 2 or 3 linebackers that have significant experience on the varsity level, you know, 2, 3, and this will be their 3rd year starting. So those guys are the same way. You know, those guys are guys on defense that we're counting on, especially early in the year. Those guys have got to lead us, and then, you know, as the year goes on, the juniors and the lower classmen kind of catch up to speed and start making more plays on their own.
With some of these young programs, it was evident here at Metea Valley, you know, when you don't have seniors, you lack some size, and that was big, you know, on the line of scrimmage these last 2 years. You have some advantages maybe on the outside at some of the skill positions, but, you know, the line, it takes some time. How has that group really on both sides of the ball kind of progressed to where we are now?
You know, it's been you know, to keep using the word, you know, it's been a process all summer. We've kind of pieced together some things. Got 2 sophomores up on the offensive line that's really stabilized us a little bit, along with the 3 seniors. So we're really excited about the offensive line group. On defensive line, we've been kind of moving guys around. We feel like we got a good set of 4 or 5 guys right now going into Friday night that can give us a good chance. They're going there and be able to use their speed, but also have a little size. To be able to, you know, when teams try to pound the ball, they're there and ready. And also made a great commitment this summer in the weight room. That's one of our big things coming in, my staff and I, is just the commitment in the weight room, understanding what it takes and that you can get stronger, you can get bigger if you commit, you know, into there, and, you know, what goes on in there, you know, transfers out onto the field.
Talk about that defense. You know, a couple of those guys on the linebacking core, Donovan Rousey, Jake Morawski, both, you know, have made some waves here recently. I imagine, you know, telling those guys maybe, you know, this is your defense, your seniors, just go out and do it.
Yeah, those 2 guys are the heart and soul of our defense. You know, they've been in Coach Jerry's system now, you know, since they walked in the door here as freshmen. You know, so they know it. They're able to play fast in it and kind of coach other guys. And they've done a great job all summer of just leading, not only, you know, by example, but, you know, having that sense of urgency that this is our senior year. We've been waiting a long time for this. So those 2 guys have been a key part of, or are going to be a key part of what we do on defense this entire year.
Now, as a player, you played in this district at Waubonsie. You coached at Neuqua, kind of making the full circle turn here as the, you know, 2nd head coach of the varsity Mustangs. You know, there's some pressure to playing in this district as far as the tradition some of these other schools have upheld. Do you kind of feel that at all as, you know, you guys get ready to embark on the 3rd Mustang varsity season?
You know, I don't know if we feel pressure. I think, you know, we have an expectation that, you know, if we do things the right way, we want to be able to compete with those teams better than we have in the past. Look at the last couple of years. They've, you know, done well in non-conference and gotten into conference, and Neuqua's, Waubonsie's, and the other good teams in the conference, and they haven't really shown very well, and it's been some lopsided scores. I mean, that's kind of been, we've got to show that we can go compete with those teams. You know, we feel like we're putting the hard work in, but there's no doubt that there's great football being played in this district. You know, both those other schools are outstanding. They're looking to have big years this year. But, you know, we don't mind kind of being the 3rd one and no one talk about us. Maybe we can sneak up on some people. You know, and when we get to those games, when, you know, Neuqua week 6, Waubonsie week 9, we've put ourselves in position to make those games really mean something for our season.
You've talked about, you know, obviously there's a sense of pride with this senior class that, you know, a lot of them have been on this varsity team since sophomores, and you guys have some pretty big goals this season. What do you think is going to be the X factor to you guys trying to achieve those?
You know, just staying committed to what we're doing and to the process, and not getting too high or too low, and understand the season is going to have its ups and downs. You know, we just got to be able to, you know, to kind of push through the downs and try to make the ups last as long as they can. And with every, you know, good performance on a Friday night, they're going to gain confidence. So, you know, it's important that we continue to gain that confidence. You know, stick together through it all, because there's going to be some rough moments as well. But you know, I think if we continue to kind of push through, keep the pedal down, you know, as we talk about, you know, we'll be in a spot, you know, to where those games, week 7, 8, 9, you know, we have a chance to go do something. So I think that's very exciting for them to think about. But they can't get too, you know, everyone talks about, you know, we talk about, you know, the playoffs and winning season, and we can't let our vision get away from us a little bit. We've got to keep what's right in front of us, and that's playing Field East this week, and getting ready for them coming here and starting the season off on a high note.
Well, it's hard to believe, season only a couple days away, a long one in front of you. Ben, thanks for having us out today.
No
Good
problem.
luck.
I appreciate it. Thank you.